That really helps me either get in front of issues that may be coming the way of my clients, because sometimes these employment law issues come in trends, and it's good to know kind of what the trending issues are and being aware of them and getting out in front of them so that I'm prepared to give good, effective, efficient advice.
Welcome to our Happy Rainmakers video series where point one can make a difference. Today, I'm lucky to be joined by Amory McAndrew, who is a partner at Hoguet Newman Regal and Kenney. Welcome.
Hi, Jen. How are you? Thanks for having me today.
You were telling me all about how you stay up on the employment laws and make sure that you're continually educating yourself. I know that's a big topic for a lot of our listeners. So, can you tell us how you manage to stay on top of things?
The employment law field is always changing. There are constantly new amendments, new state laws, different guidance that's coming out from state agencies, federal agencies that are enforcing some of these employment laws that we have to stay aware of. I'm certainly reading the emails I get from various subscriptions that I have that are keeping me updated, but I also really try to attend a lot of various conferences that I think are important for me to hear about the new laws and how my fellow employment lawyers are thinking about them and applying them in their own practice, because these laws are sometimes coming out so quickly that we don't really have a lot of precedent from the courts to look to in terms of how they're being applied by various jurisdictions. So it's really important to get together with other practitioners and hear their perspectives and their experiences and get a chance to hear from different experts in the field as well, and people who've really spent some time delving into these ever-changing laws.
So it sounds like a lot of the meetings you're talking about are with other lawyers.
That's true. A lot of the time, you're right. I'm meeting with other practitioners, other attorneys, but also, as an employment lawyer, I partner often with HR professionals and in-house attorneys who may not have an employment background, but they are addressing employment laws for their clients. Going to these conferences, I'm meeting with attorneys, yes, but I'm also meeting with HR professionals, in-house counsel, and sometimes just the small business owners themselves who are trying to think about these employment laws and how to best apply them in their businesses and for their clients.
And I know some of our viewers and listeners are trying to get into employment law, maybe from a more general litigation background or are just starting out. Do you have any conferences that you recommend?
SHRM is a great one. SHRM has a wide reach and they have national conferences and they also have local chapters. There's some other associations that I participate in, like the Association of Workplace Investigators. And that's an area of employment law that's busy, and it's good to be meeting with other practitioners and hearing about best practices and guidance. So, those are two conferences that I enjoy.
And are there some bar association committees or other kinds of places where you might go for meetings or for CLE credit?
New York City, for example, has the New York City Bar Association, and it does have an employment law committee. And I'm a member of that, and I enjoy working with the other committee members and hearing their perspectives on these issues. And those committees also put on a lot of great conferences and CLEs and opportunities. They're beneficial to employment lawyers to who are dealing with these issues every day, and to get perspective from other people who are also thinking about the laws the way we are. But they also can be, as you mentioned, a good entry point for people who practice in different areas and maybe considering employment law. And it's a good idea. It's a good way to get some insight into what the issues are and how employment lawyers are thinking about them.
We always talk about learning continuously because you want to stay interested in your own practice by learning new things instead of doing the same thing over and over, but also because your clients have a lot of concerns and anxiety around some of the new laws, and they may be asking a lot of questions and they may want to rely on your advice, right?
Yeah, attending these conferences is really helpful for me to understand either from other employment lawyers the kind of issues their clients have been facing. Sometimes these employment law issues come in trends, and it's good to know kind of what the trending issues are and being aware of them and getting out in front of them so that I'm prepared to give good, effective, efficient advice.
Well, I'm not going to ask you what the current trends are because they change every day. And by the time this video airs, it could be something new. But it is so important to stay out in front of things because there's so much change in your area of the law. So good for you to be learning continuously. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.